For training purposes only. I wonder if these are all gonna be just raptors, or is it gonna be like the other dinosaurs as well?
And there she goes. That's our boned raptor. Adios. To hell with a lot of you. Now there's some checks I need to get done before I can follow the team over to wherever they'll take the dead raptor. The other girls were tranked with a ketamine dart, a general fast-acting anesthetic used to immobilize wildlife, along with xylazine, a sedative, to keep the raptors asleep for when we need to work with them. Now, despite how much I wish they all perished, unfortunately, I do have to check on how they are taking to the tranquilizers, because one, if I don't...
This is a really big space that allows him to run around.
Bless his soul. He's left the island for a short trip to see his daughter. And two, side effects are common for these drugs.
Is that a carcass?
So it's
or is that a rock?
imperative that we check on the animals after administering any medication. The last thing I want is to have to tell John that we lost 2 raptors in his absence. This is one of the big one's minions, the younger of the 2. John calls her Storm, because when she attacks the fence, she puts on an electrical display akin to lightning.
Oh, this one's alive. This one's just tranked.
Any adverse reactions to have occurred with her, as she's generally in good health. She's been tranked some half a dozen times before too, so I'm not concerned. But we'd always double check and look for the classic adverse reaction profile just in case.
I'm not gonna lie, my intrusive thoughts would win here. I would touch it. I know it's tranked, but like it's just like it's tranked, so it's just like, you know, touch, because they're gonna be transported anyways. But like at the same time, it's just like you would think that a creature that would get tranquilized so many times, like if they're using the same cocktail formula to trank them, you would think their body would develop an immunity to it, and then just one of them will play dead long enough and be like, surprise, your leg is missing. Congratulations, you've won. Your prize, the afterlife. I'm just saying.
The major one is eyes open. The anesthetic ketamine causes a state called catalepsy, a trance-like state, where the animal appears immobile but still maintains certain reflexes. The muscles around the eyes sometimes don't fully relax and may remain completely or partially open.
That's creepy.
In this case, as you can see, her eyes are closed, so I'm not concerned about her recovery from the drug.
They're gonna open.
Another sign to look for is increased salivation. I'm definitely not going to handle her muzzle, but judging by the distinct lack of saliva surrounding her jaw, I'd say she's good.
She's in La La Land.
All right, the big one next.
It's wearing off!
Robbie, get out of...
I knew it! I knew it! It's wearing off! So either they're developing an immunity to the cocktail formula, or they probably just didn't shoot them in the right place. You could see her eye flicker open. So that's what he said. Like, you can see like the muscles around the eyes won't relax and they'll twitch. So he was expecting that. So that's why he didn't say anything, because you can see the eye move a little bit. This one's awake. Look at this one.
Over there. She's still drowsy. Robbie, are you clear?
Yeah, it's locked.
The tranq and the sedative are wearing off. Is everyone out? Where's Tony?
Like, did they give him not the same dose?
Okay, good. Get into the buffer enclosure and wait for me. I've never seen an animal recover so quickly from a dart. She's still probably got another hour or so of disorientation and drowsiness. But I'm going to back away and exit right now. Christ, I've shot male African elephants in Kenya who took much longer to recover from that sedative. Might have something to do with the osteoderms on the skin, similar to those seen on crocs and alligators. A very tough hide to penetrate. The dart must have found some entry point, but the complete dose mustn't have been administered.
That would make sense.
I don't know what Wu's cooking up in that lab, but I'd imagine Mongoliensis did not possess osteoderms. But then again, this is no velociraptor. This is John and Henry's theme park Frankenstein mishmash monster. Pacing.
Okay, so then yeah, so the second theory is they hit somewhere that it didn't go through, but it could also mean that they're probably becoming immune to it. So that means, hey, by the way, just for the future, let's come up with another cocktail formula for the tranquilizer darts so we can be sure they stay night-night.
Behaviors are often observed in animals in captivity. The repetition of this behavior usually correlates to an animal's instinctive needs, such as space, stimulation, or the thrill of pursuit, are constrained or not met entirely. What may appear to visitors as restless movement is in fact a complex behavioral signal, a blend of frustration, heightened intelligence, and an unfulfilled drive to hunt. Among the raptors of Jurassic Park, this manifests in a particularly calculated form. The dinosaurs stalk the boundaries of their enclosure, almost on a timed loop. What's interesting is, at certain points during the night, the big one will stand in one dedicated spot. What she does next shocked me the first time I saw it.
Oh, she gonna test the fence?
She appears to be calling to something outside the enclosure.
Oh. Oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera. Ew, 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 ew. Oh, she looked at the camera. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. It looked like it was smiling. Ew. Oh, I got the heebie-jeebies. Ugh. She knows she's being watched. Look, the pen.
And here she is in all her glory. The Velociraptor pen. Not complete, of course. The guys are due to come in a little later and do some horticulture inside. John has them brought over from mainland Costa Rica, spared no expense, of course.
Huh, he said the thing.
I wanted to document some gripes I have with this place. The pen is 70 feet long by 40 feet wide and is buried in the ground 12 feet. The girls are being transported into this enclosure a few days from now. The guys coming tonight are supposed to be planting this pen up with foliage to give the raptors privacy to mitigate stress and provide some shade from the sun. It is essentially a concrete pit in the ground with an electrified fence ceiling. Unhappy with fortified concrete, as it's almost impossible for the raptors to escape. Almost. Let's head inside so I can reveal my issues. And boy, are there issues. If we come around here,
Okay.
this is the transport door. It allows the transportation container to attach to the pen and a smooth transition to take place, which I love. Inside.
So, yeah, so this is interesting because before you never really looked inside the pen in the movie because it had a lot of vegetation here. And based on the dimensions he mentioned, I was thinking of something probably a lot bigger, but this enclosure looks a lot smaller than the wide open space that they had before. Honestly, it seemed like the other enclosure that they had was much more suitable because like he was mentioning, like obviously they are exhibiting behaviors and not being able to feel fulfilled when it comes to their natural instincts. And I would assume running around and having free space would have been that big thing. And then here you're putting them inside of a concrete box where they don't have, doesn't look like they'll have that much mobility, which he's probably going to have gripes with and mention that. But like looking at this space, like if it was this small to begin with, and then they threw in vegetation afterwards, I can see why they escaped. Obviously they're dinosaurs, they're going to get out. Still, I can see the urge to leave.
Here is our new raptor enclosure. Not huge. And that's one of my concerns. We're talking about ambush pack hunters, 3 of them, constrained to living quarters not much larger than your average apartment in Leeds in the UK. These are wild animals that have needs and furthermore are highly intelligent animals. And what happens to highly intelligent animals kept in cramped conditions? They display disordered behaviors. They need space to run. After all, they're not called velociraptors for no reason. These things can match cheetah speeds, 50, 60 miles an hour if they get out in the open.
Everything I just said.
My other concern is why the bloody hell has John approved this containment pen to them anyway? Are raptors not on the tour anymore? Why are they being cloned if their temperament is counterproductive to the park's turnover? It doesn't make sense to me.
One other thing too that they could have utilized this pen for is like for isolation if one of them gets sick. So like imagine one of them gets sick with something and you don't want it spreading to the others. You would have this space as a confinement to ensure like, okay, we'll keep them here, monitor them, make sure they get better. Use this as a temporary space for the velociraptors and still give them like, you know, some kind of like stimulation while they're recovering. That would have made sense. And the fact that this looks so small, I think in the movie they make it look a little bigger. It would have made more sense to just make this like a sick pen and then just kept them in the other enclosure.
Anyway, my last concern is this. This is the remote-controlled door that is supposed to let the feeders drop a live cow into the pen using a crane. A big, gaping hole in the enclosure that opens several times a week. Just marvelous. She's on her side.
What are her symptoms, Muldoon?
I'm not in close proximity to examine her, Jerry, and I can't get in there at the moment. I'm heading
Another
over to
dinosaur.
the Raptors to help Robbie.
Okay, I'll head over soon.
Thanks, Jerry.
No problem. Good luck at dinner.
Yeah, over to the Raptors to help Robbie.
Okay, I'll head over soon.
Thanks, Jerry.
No problem. Good luck at dinner.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Poor baby, no, my favorite dino.
Ay, ay, ay.
I like how he just stood
Robert
there for a minute.
Muldoon, Game Warden, Velociraptor Containment, Isla Nublar. It's the evening of September 9th.
Why did I gotta make my
documenting the raptor
Stegosaurus?
feeding protocol.
Why do they have to
It
make my
started raining,
Stegosaurus
but after
suffer?
a long conversation with John,
What'd she
I
do?
have finally been granted permission to perform the procedure at night. Took a bit of back and forth, and some nasties were exchanged. He called me an alarmist. I called him a mad scientist. But at the end of the day, no hard feelings either way. I think this will help with raptor regression. I have Robbie Hadira with me, and he's got tonight's dinner ready.
Her name's Mildred.
Robbie has
Mildred,
been warned that
for a
naming
cow.
the food items for the carnivals on this island is an exceptionally bad idea, as it psychologically creates an attachment with the animal, and then you're forced to watch their final moments of life at the hands of the velociraptors. Robbie and I are now standing back within the buffer enclosure, and in the feeder, we've left Bessie.
Mildred.
We've left the poor soul.
Bessie Mildred.
Once the prey is in the feeder,
I love this.
the handler will exit the buffer.
Bye, Mildred. So sad.
Oh, it'll definitely be a sad farewell soon, Robbie. Now, I want to make note here in particular. It is definitely unusual that the raptor pack has not approached the feeder yet. They are only pacing about, studying their new prey item eagerly. But then again, this is the very first time we're doing this at night, so they may not be aware of what's happening entirely.
Oh, we're turning off the
I'm going
flashlight.
to turn this off and watch for the raptors before proceeding out the buffer and locking both gates.
All right.
Like I said, they are normally quite excited at this point, attacking the fences. So this is a little odd, I must say.
They're thinking, they're waiting for the gate
feeder
to
doors
open so they
have
can
been
ambush.
Opened,
They're
yet
ambush
still
predators.
No sign of the raptor pack. Bessie's unknownly wandered out. In the enclosure.
Poor Mildred.
We might as well call her dead meat at this point. Robbie and I are watching the hunt from the perimeter. I have to add this is the longest the raptors have taken to respond to prey in their enclosure.
Because they don't want that prey. They want you prey.
Where are they?
Thinking, calculating.
I see Storm and her sister. And there's the big one. She's going to make the first strike. What the?
Oh, wait. Where's that one? Wait. Why are there 4? There's only supposed to be 3 now. Right? Wait. Okay, so there's the big one, and then there's this one, and then the third one got fried.
And there's the big one.
So who's
She's
that?
going to make the first strike.
Who is that?
What the?
Who is that? Who is this? Who are you? Who is this? Why are the eyes glowing? Where did this one come from? Wait. And it's turning towards Muldoon. What? Thank you for attending this training session. Please refrain from discussing the content of this video with anyone.